Hello guys, welcome back again to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to build this amazing calculator using only JavaScript. So before I start this video, make sure you subscribe to my channel for more videos. And also a quick reminder, I just want to thank for the 1000 subscribers you guys have given me. And for those who subscribe, I just want to say thank you. So without wasting time, let's start. So welcome back again. As you can see here, and we'll start first by creating one folder. As you can see here, I created one folder called JS calculator. So in this folder, I have created three files: one for the HTML, and one for the JS, and one for the CSS. So let's start with the HTML. So as you can see here, I have this link. There's my CSS linked to the HTML, to my index page, I mean. So next, what I want to do is import some fonts here. So let's go to Google and go to Google Fonts. So inside this, you want to search open sans condensed. So here I'll just pick one, and I'll just say select this one and say embed. So here you will have this link. Just copy this link, copy it and paste it under the CSS link. So now we have our fonts. So next I'll start with the body, and I have a title here called simple calculator. So we'll start with the body by creating one div with a class container. Inside this div, I want to create another div with a class called I will give it an ID called calculator. And inside this div ID, I want to create another div for result, and also we're going to create a div for with an ID history. So here I'll just say div with an ID result. Next I'll create a div with an ID for history, and then we'll create another div with an ID for history value. Now from here, what I'm going to do is just come down here and we'll create, inside this div history div ID history value, I'll be creating one paragraph. Sorry, and this is supposed to be a class. Let's just remove this, and we want to create a paragraph with an ID history value. That will be better. So after this, just come down below here and we'll create another div with an ID output. Now here I also want to add a paragraph with an ID output value. So if I save this and refresh your web page, you can see we have nothing, but we have this title simple calculator. So next, what I'm going to do is now we'll go and create a div ID. I'll create a div with an ID called keyboard. Inside this div, we want to create some button classes, and also we are going to create IDs for numbers and our operators. So what I have these buttons here. I'll just copy this and paste it here. As you can see, I've created a button with a class operator, and I've given ID backspace for the backspace whenever you want to remove a number. And I also have this but another button. As you can see, I have several buttons with operators and numbers, and also their IDs. So if I save this and go back to our browser and reload it, you will see our operators and numbers. So but they're not very organized, so we are going to style this. Next, you might want to go to the CSS, and we already connected our CSS to the HTML. As you can see here, we have this link, style.css. So we'll start with the first one, this class ID and container. So, and I think I made a mistake here, so you might just want to put this as an ID. So we'll create this, we'll say container. Inside this container, I want to add a height, a width, and a background image with a linear gradient, and also we'll add a background size and margin also. So we'll start by the height, and I'll give a height of 550 pixel. Next, I'll add a width of 1000 pixel. Supposed to be 3 zeros. Next, we'll add a background image with a linear gradient. Add a linear gradient. So in this linear gradient, I want to include RGBA, and we'll give a value 0.3. Next, comma, and then create another RGBA and open your. So I will give here 0.3 as well. So next we'll add a URL for our image, and I have this one image that I'm going to be adding. Same error. So I'll just say here cal.jpg. So next we'll say background size cover. Next I'll add a margin of 20 pixel auto. So next we'll copy this ID of calculator. And this one I want to add a width, a height, a background color, a margin, and top. We'll also add position, border radius, and box shadow. So let's start with height and width. And I'll give a height of 320 pixel. Next I'll add a width of 520 pixel. Next I'll add a background color, and I want my color to be okay. So next I'll be adding a margin, and I'll say zero auto. Next we'll add a top, position relative, border radius, sorry, and I'll say 5 pixel. Lastly, we'll add a box shadow. let's change this value to 2. 0.2 will be okay. And same here, we'll change its value to 19. So we are done with the calculator. Next, let's go to result. Inside here, I'll only give a height of 120 pixels. Next, we'll go to history. So if you're wondering why I'm getting this, it's because we have given, if you're new to JavaScript, we have these IDs and classes. So that's what we're styling now, so that we come up with a amazing interface of our calculator. So next, here in history, I want to add a text align. I will say right. Next, we'll add a height 20 pixels. Next, we'll add a margin. I'll say 0.20 pixel. Next, we'll add a padding top of 20 pixels will be okay. Font size 15 pixel. Next, we'll add color. I'll say save this and reload your web page. We have this. Now we have our calculator is coming up. So next, what I forgot to add here is we forgot to add a body. So I'll say body, and we'll add a font family. We'll say our open. So here we'll add our font family. So but we can just go back to our font. Here the font we choose next, let's just copy this font family, and this one you might want to go and copy paste into your CSS, not your HTML. Okay, for the HTML we copied this one. Now next we're going to copy this font family to our CSS, and I'll also give a background color and light sky blue. Okay, so save this and let's see if the color changed. See, we have this background color now. Next, let's continue to next I want to style my output. Here I'm going to give a text line, right? Next, I want to add a height of 60 pixel. Next, we'll add a margin. Sorry, it's supposed to be margin. I'll add a margin of 10 pixel and 20 pixel. Next, we'll add a font size 30 pixel. So next, let's continue with just copy this here, the keyboard. Now we are here. We'll edit this ID, this div. Now right keyboard, and in this keyboard I will only give a height of 400 pixels. Next, now let's say operator for this one. Just copy this class and this ID. Now let's start with first with the class, then we go to ID. So I'll say operator comma dot number comma dot empty. Here I will give a width 50 pixel, supposed to be 50. Next we'll give a height also 50 pixel, and a margin 15 pixels. Next I'll say float to right, to left I mean. Next we'll add border radius, and I'll say 50%. Next we'll add a border width, and I'll say bold. And lastly, I'm going to add a font size of 15 pixel. Save this and reload your web page. Also, you need to save your index. Sorry, we didn't save, that's why we didn't see our numbers. So save it and go back to your web page, reload it. Now you can see we have our numbers, but they are out of the container. So let's just continue. Go back to your CSS, and I'll say dot number comma dot empty. Here I want to add a background color. Only. Okay, so next we'll do dot number slash, I mean comma, sorry, dot operator, open curly braces, and we'll add a cursor pointer. Let me just scroll up so that you can see clear. So next I will say dot number comma dot operator. Sorry, and we're supposed to say dot number. For here I will say operator, and I'll say active comma dot number, also active. Okay, so for here I will only add a font size of 13 pixel. Next we'll do is we'll want to add a focus, so I'll say dot operator focus dot number, also focus. Dot empty focus. So we have added the operator, the number, and the empty too. So open your curly braces, and I want to say outline 0. Okay, so next, now we want to go to the button, and I'll say button. Sorry, it's supposed to be dot because it's a class, and for ID it's the hashtag, and for the class is dot. So we'll say button and child and I'll say here for this one we'll add a font size and a background color only. So I'll say font size 20 pixel and the background color so just copy this and paste it down here, and we'll change this value to 8. For this one I will only change the color, and for this one I'll say next, paste it again and we'll change to 12 this one, and I'll change its color. The last one, not the last one actually, we'll say 16, change the value, and for this one I want to change the color again. We don't same color, so for this one I'll say 8. The last one for, and give it a value of 20. Now save this and go back to your web page, reload it. So now we need to work with the JavaScript, and for this one I have some codes here. Now let's go to the JavaScript, and I'll just come down here, and so as you can see I've created one file here for script.js. So now we need to link this JS to our index file. So for that I'll just say script source, and I'll say script.js. Save this, and now let's work with the script.js. For this one I have some JavaScript codes here, so I'll just copy this one without wasting time. So if you're wondering where you can get these codes for the JavaScript, I will leave a link in the link description so that you can get these codes for the JS. Paste it here. As you can see, the first we said function, we started by saying function get history, and we returned a document get element by ID, the ID for history value. I hope you remember the paragraph we gave here. We said history value this paragraph, and now next what we did was the function get history for the numbers, and we returned its history value with inner text numbers. And next I said function with function called get output, and for the output value, and the last we said we need to print this output, this function and the output value. And I've used condition here, if else conditions, and I said function print output, and I've given this variable num and I said if num equal and open curly braces document.get element by id, and we are given this id output value, or else you get formatted number. Okay, so and next what we did was function, and we created a get format function, and we said if num equal open curly braces return nothing. Okay, and we have given variable n is equals to number, and variable value I mean I've said in n dot to local string, and the string is en, and we return a value. So if we save this, and also have this if else else. Okay, so this is just a conditional that you just use for this whole JavaScript. And next, if we save this and go back to our page, reload it, we see nothing. So we might, so let's just go back and again. Now I don't know where we went wrong. Everything is okay, but let's just save everything again and see what happens. Now go back to your web page. Now let's reload again, and now it's okay. As you can see, we have our container with I mean we have our calculator. Now it's functioning, as you can see. So let's just test if it's working. So I'll just say 5 times 5. See, it's working, 25. Now let's say 25 minus 5 again, and it's saying 20, which is correct. And you have this backspace, I can just say that, and right space this one, and if we also have this clear, and you have this percent. It's correct, 64. As you can see, our calculator is now working well, and so I think the save in my VS Code has a problem. I think that's why. So now that our calculator is well functioning, I mean, just want to say that was all for today, and I just want to say subscribe to my channel, share, like, and also I'll be posting videos every once in a week. I mean, so lately I have been having a problem with my computer. That's why I haven't posted for a long time, and apology for that one. So without saying further, I just want to say subscribe to my channel, and I will leave these source codes in the link description so that you can get on my GitHub. So till next time, bye.